And good evening, this is Gabriel Porras with SCW News and what will likely be our final Decision 2020 update of the evening. It is just about 1:04 a.m. now on Wednesday, March 4th, 2020. We want to show you the results that we have in just right now coming in from the Registrar of Voters Office. This is what it looks like right now according to them. So far, no major changes since we reported earlier. Only 14.06% of precincts are reporting at this hour. We're going to start though with the San Joaquin County Supervisor District 1 seat. This is still a race going mainly towards Miguel Villapudua, having 61.75% of the votes, and his opponent Terrence West having 37.68% of the votes. Moving on to District 3 for San Joaquin County Board of Supervisors, incumbent Tom Patty still holding strong at 57.50% of the votes, and Albert Holman at 42.1% of the votes. As for District 5, this is still going towards, at this point, Robert Rickman, the Tracy mayor, at 48.87% of the votes. In second place, Rodasea Ransom at 22.46% of the votes. Now moving on to the maybe the most watched election of the evening, the election for Stockton mayor. Incumbent Mayor Michael Tubbs still having a strong hold at 41.07% of the votes. In second place, still Kevin Lincoln at 20.14% of the votes, which is interesting because he actually had lost originally at lost 1 percentage point at 19% in the previous update, but now up to 20.14%. But still, again, Tubbs, the incumbent, leading in that race at 41.07% of the votes going towards him at this point. Stockton City Council District 2 looks like it's going at this point to Dan Wright with 67.28% of the votes. Fernando Duarte at 32.24% behind. And in District 6 for Stockton City Council, and at this point is looking like it is going towards Kimberly Wormsley, who has 46.36% of the vote at this time. In second place there, as you can see, is Gloria Allen. She has 28.76% of the votes. And I'm going to swipe this back up here so you can see the Stockton mayoral race. Excuse me. Again, Mayor Tubbs, the incumbent, still leading with 41.07% of the votes, although as I mentioned, this is still a very small amount of people actually reporting. We are still awaiting on quite a lot of other results. This is, as a matter of fact, only 14.06% of the polling places that have reported so far in this election. Unclear when we will get the other results. A lot of these places could also be mail-in ballots, and mail-in ballots actually were still allowed to be dropped off, or were still allowed to be sent in today, so it could be up to 3 days until the Registrar of Voters Office actually has all of the mail-in ballots they can assign to any given candidate. And of course, it's still taking them a while to count the polling places. This is now 5 hours after the polls have closed in California. Polls closed at 8 p.m. this evening in Stockton and in all of California. And of course, the Registrar of Voters Office still working very hard as we speak to count the remaining ballots. At this point, it's 1:07 a.m. as I mentioned. Only 14.06% still reporting. And again, with incumbent Mayor Michael Tubbs in the lead for the Stockton mayoral race. As I have mentioned throughout this evening, in order for someone to actually claim the mayoral seat this evening and be inaugurated in January of next year, they actually would have to have 50% plus one of the votes this evening, although that just looks like it won't be happening, at least according to these preliminary results. It looks like it could go down to a runoff election between Michael Tubbs and Kevin Lincoln during the November primaries, although again, somewhat hard to tell just given how early these results are and the fact that it's only 14.06% of precincts reporting. And as we get updates for you, we'll pass those along to you here. This is our final update for election night here on SCW News, but it will have more continuous coverage on my SCW News Digest later this evening here on Wednesday, and of course as we get more results in later this week as well. For now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you back here later for more results updates here on SCW News. Have a good night.